Hey, welcome back, everybody. Yeah, I'm at Williams Performance. This is the place I work. Boss man's cool enough to let me record here. I wanted to show y'all what we're going to be working on. First, I'm going to give you a quick spin around the shop so you can see some of the amazing stuff that's in here. And yeah, then I'll show you the car we're going to be working on. We've got some cool stuff around here. Let's take a look. Thought I'd hit y'all with kind of a quick overview of the shop here. Got a Bronco or parts of it back here, but 64 Mustang convertible, 64 and a half, 65, I don't know. He actually had a 6-cylinder in it, pulled it out, did a quick motor swap on it. Cool looking car. It's had one repaint. It ain't bad. Super solid for a convertible. There's like no rust in it. But Corey, I didn't do none of this. I don't know how to pop a hood on a Mustang. Now, here we go. Brand new. Oh, I said 289. No, it's a 302 and it has the 351 firing order. That held us up a little bit. The motor builder didn't send any specs with it. It's come from a company. But it's got a Tremec 5-speed now. Super clean car. Look at this thing. All original interior. Somebody's put a top on it a few years back. But this ain't anything we really did much to. Just easy engine swap. Let's check out what's in this room over here. So some of y'all have seen the 55 Ford, I think 54 Ford, 55, I don't know. I'm not really a Ford truck guy. It's got a killer motor in it. Dart block, AFR heads, fuel injected. It's got these cool velocity stacks. We're actually going to make taller velocity stacks for it. Actually took those engine mounts out and had to readjust them. We made a transmission cross member and stuff for it a while back. I did some shorts on it. If you want to see those, you can just check out my short stuff, but get that guy back together. This thing is going to be killer. Corey built a frame for it already. It's got Corvette's front suspension. You see how low it is. We'll actually be shortening up the fenders a little bit. But it is, every bit of it's been touched and will be touched. Won't be long, we'll be building the floor for it. Everything's just kind of mocked up on this poor old truck right now, but it's gonna be super sweet. Back up so you can get a good look at it. And then its mate in here in the corner for now is a, I don't know, early 50s Dodge truck. And he also built the frame for this one. It's pretty cool. Most of the bodywork's done. There's not really much to show with it. Got a Dakota digital dash we put in it. But it's going to have a late model Hemi. It's had such a cool bed. I love the bed on these trucks. And then the truck is so plain. I don't get it. It's like Dodge spent all their money in designing this bed, and then they were like, we're out of cash. What about the rest? Let's go look at what I'm going to be working on. So in this video, this is what we're working on today. If you follow me on TikTok, I posted a short of this thing. Twin Turbo 70 Chevelle. It's a LS7. It came to us partially worked on. It's got a roadster shop frame. Clearly somebody had been doing some stuff. It's just here for metal work for the body. And we've done a bunch already. Corey put a quarter panel in it. He also built a custom cowl panel. Got these covers. We'll end up doing stainless hardware for that, so you can still get in there. But this car is going to get wipers as well, so you have to be able to get in there. I shaved the drip rails on it. already. Somebody had started the drip rails and really messed them up. I came in, cleaned them up, and got it looking nice. We're gonna flush mount the front and rear glass, but we ain't there yet. It's actually got some rust on that far side, right in there. I'm gonna have to fix that. Then it has a spot right up in here that I'll have to repair even before we start. I did gap this trunk lid, got it adjusted out. Got a big dent in it right there, but that's not here for that. It's here for metal work. So that's the Body Works guy. Yeah, trunk lid turned out nice. Gapped it. Had to lower the actual quarters down to flatten them out some. They have a hump in them. All of them do pretty much. This is a factory quarter over here, and even the top of that one's a factory quarter. And that's the trunk it's born with as well. So, but we got it fitting good now. We did not do that patch, but we're going to leave it. We did do that patch. It's got mini tubs. Like I said, it's on a Roadster shop frame. I built this transmission tunnel up here, and I have the other two pieces beside of it that'll finish out. But we got to build new toe boards basically, and what we're actually going to be working on is the firewall. Firewall in it, somebody put it in. It was pretty warped. Best way to fix it is cut it out and redo it. Also, it's going to get fender exit exhaust. Currently, your turbo exit's right here, and basically it's going to come back and turn down through this area and come out the fenders right there. So we're going to have to cut those out and delete them. Anyways, this is something Corey had actually started it a while back, and I don't know, he got into something else, and it's just now time to come back to it. So we're gonna do round rod at the top and get rid of this pinch weld, so that'll slick that up. But this is better now even than it used to be because it's loose, but when it first came, it's still really low right here, and you couldn't even beat it out. So first thing we're gonna do is actually pull this thing off the frame, 6 bolts or whatever, and it'll lift up and pull the frame out from under it. And then we'll start looking at this firewall, see what we can do with it. We'll get this lift set up. We'll get this thing in the air. Give her the old shake test. Make sure we're okay. Oh yeah, we're good. It's one massive intercooler, isn't it? Look at this. These Roadster shop frames are no joke. They are so nice. Here's the bottom part of the tunnel I put in it. With these, you have to create your own tunnel because the motor and trains are set so high compared to a stock car. It's got a Ford 9-inch. Super neat. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get the bolts out of it. Let's get this body off this frame. Well, we're going to try to lift this body. You don't know this, but I had you on time lapse, and I tried to lift it a minute ago, and I'd missed 2 bolts. Junk happens. We're going to try it again. All right, we're going to give this thing another shot. There we have it. We have separation. I'm going to get it high enough to get the frame out from under it. Will it not clear? Oh, we ain't got over the hump? That ought to clear. Put it on the locks. Not that it matters, it's barely on the lift. Let's get this thing rolled out. Alright, I'm going to put her on some blocks of wood and get her off the ground. We don't have it so great right now. We got some wooden cribbing under this thing. We're going to set her down and see what happens. We'll have to pull the cord. She may be tippy in the back. We'll find out in a minute. Definitely tippy in the back. I won't pick it back up. We'll figure something out. Yeah, rocker there, Corey. It's a good explanation of how that's not. Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. Put a bunch of effort into safety back here, so that'll work. It's not tippy anymore, at least. So we're good to go. We'll go ahead and pull this master cylinder off. We don't want to get this thing messed up. It is beautiful. Such a nice piece. It also has the whatever that thing is. Proportioning valve, that's the word. There we go. So next thing we're going to do is actually cut this panel out. And we're going to bed mark it center here. We're actually going to cut it about right there. But down. Let's actually make a mark. That way y'all ain't got to imagine it. We are going to cut right through here. Maybe a little further down. And over. We want to keep this really nice rolled edge. This was a Firewall kit you can buy. It has a really nice edge to it. That's really good. So we're going to keep that. But we're going to cut that out. It's already loose over here. And cut at the top. We're going to lose this pinch weld too. And put in this round rod. And that's what we'll weld to. But once we get that cut out, I'm going to go ahead and cut part of this out. Probably down through there. I've got some rust repair to do on it. We'll cut it out, do the rust repair, and then weld it back in. So here's a look at this toe board. See, that's where all the spot welds were, and they just drilled them all out. So I'm actually going to put in a piece all the way across here. Also, part of this needs to be beat back. I'm going to weld it back in. We'll probably end up cutting some of it, but definitely don't need that much of it gone, and it's all bent. And there's a big spot of rust right in here. We're going to cut that out and replace it, and then put it back. That's the plan. We got a Woodward Fab shear. I'm actually going to cut this flange off with that. It's just so fast. Definitely one of my favorite tools, of tools I'd never used before I came here. Just like that. Work out well. I'm just going to lay it up here and mark out what we got to cut, and we'll throw it up here and cut it. Grab this Scotch-Brite pad. We're just clean this up right quick. I started with a 50 grit, but this will be fast. Alright, I kind of got her ground down a little bit, cleaned up. Now you can see those holes. We're going to take a bigger patch out of that because this metal is thin to begin with. Of course, I got that edge cleaned up. Cleaned up our repair panel. This thing steps down right here and back up. So we're going to do that. We're going to do it the easy way with a vise, and I'll show you what we're going to do. Well, I just realized that I didn't film none of this, but I'm making the step down for this piece. Just steps a little bit. I put a little too much in it. I'm going to hit it with a hammer along these lines. The edge of the table here. Back y'all up. And we're going to step it down just a little bit. No big deal. Much better. That'll do us just fine. Now we have a right and a left side, so we need to write that on this. And we'll get that turned around, and we need to mark top. We'll roll that down a little bit, and we'll weld that all the way across the middle. See how that edge is up? We're just going to roll that edge down. This side I didn't weld because I'm going to cut this out, and I just want to go ahead and patch this. That was really tough to weld in there. I knew it would be. It wasn't the cleanest, and there was some old rust and stuff, so it holds all that in. And when you weld it, it comes out. It ain't pretty, but it'll hold. And then here in the front, I knew it was thin, 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 thin. It burnt through. There's more weld there than metal, but it'll grind down and it'll be fine. I think I'm gonna go ahead and beat this part back here down. So we'll weld that up and then grind the whole thing. I went ahead and knocked that together and stitched it up. I welded all this from the back side that needed it. I'm using a pretty low temp around here, so I knew I'd have to weld both sides. But yeah, we'll hit that with a grinder right quick and clean it up. I ain't even gonna show that, and we'll see about getting it in. Well, I got this piece completely welded now. I've went and cleaned it up as good as we're gonna get. Remember, this is the floor. It's gonna get coated on one side and covered on the other with carpet and whatnot. So let me show you what we got, and I'll show you where we're at, and we'll start trying to get all this piece back together. So here she is. We got it all cleaned up. I'm looking pretty good. We got the step back in it just fine. And that fits underneath that other piece of floor pan. It goes right there. And we have a lot more floor than we'll end up cutting part of this out once we get it actually repaired. But I got all the paint cleaned up. Looks like it's going to fit pretty good. I mean, it should. It's just the piece we cut out of here. So we'll have to weld part, probably the top, or maybe we'll do the bottom first and kind of get it all welded in and bend it back. Because it is definitely bent from what we've done and what was done before. I'm going to put us a few holes in. There's a small hole there. I may try to expand that one. Get us one in somewhere here. There's a small hole there. I'm going to open it up. We can use that one as a plug weld. I'm going to put one more, probably right there. Do that right quick, and then see if we can't get this thing clamped in and ready to weld. Now I'm going to go ahead and clamp this part here together so while we can still get to it good and weld all this together. Actually, I may use a different clamp. One of the bigger ones here. Get it back here and clamp it. Yeah, if I can get the welding lead in there, we'll be fine. went ahead and put in a couple of stitch welds too, just so it had a little bit extra. It's not terribly tight right there, so that makes it a lot better. I'm gonna go ahead and set up my clamps, and I'll show you how those clamps are gonna have to be. It'll probably be crazy. Well, we got 3 clamps on it. This side fits pretty darn good, so I'm gonna weld that, and I might put a tack or 2 at the bottom down here, and we'll work that longest, extendo clamp over until we can get to the next one. We'll weld it in. I'm also going to do some stitches on this, and we'll just work our way across. And I got 1 clamp up here at the top just to kind of hold it all in place. It ain't doing much, but we'll see what we can get welded in. I think we'll be fine, or it won't be fine. We'll have to fix it again. Well, I might have forgot to hit record. I got a couple of plug welds in her. A stitch weld. We're going to do another stitch weld and plug weld, and we'll keep working. There you have it. I think that'll work. And then we'll take a little break, and then we'll work on this and coming up. So this part's laying really nice and flat, up to about right there where that gap is. We'll weld it all the way to there, and then we're going to flatten that out and through here. Maybe it's a better look, I don't know. But then we'll just work our way up as we come. Nothing to it but to do it. Welded in there. Not the prettiest welding you'll ever see in your life, but it'll be strong. We're going to grind it down. The underside of this thing's all going to get undercoated anyways, not from there down. And the inside, of course, will get carpet and stuff, so it's not that big a deal. You clean that up and make it look perfect if you really wanted to, but it's a waste of time. Well, I'm back, and we're going to be back at it again. It's actually been a few days for me. I got sick. But car's still here, so we're gonna get back to work. I think the first thing we're gonna do, let's take a look. All right, first thing we're gonna do is actually cut this off, because we're gonna have the exhaust come through here, and we don't need all this out here. We can't have it. We gotta have all that room. So I'm gonna cut basically right along through here, and then as it attaches down through there, and we're going to make a plate for that. And once we get that capped, we'll work our way on across. Well, you saw me cut this little guy out. We're going to keep that. That's a bought piece. We're going to put that in later once we figure out where the AC is going to have to come out. Got the cap cut off. It wasn't too bad. Sometimes they're really rusty in the bottom. It is got a little rust down here, but it ain't crazy. I'm going to get that cleaned out. And there looks like there's some stuff inside of there. I'm going to get a magnet and see if I can get all that out too. When we're taking the AC stuff apart, we dropped a brass nut down in here. We're going to see if we can find it. Look at all that. at that. Get all this out of there too. It'll be nice and clean. If you're curious just how much garbage came out of there, all of that. I still didn't get the thing I was after. I know that it's in there, so I'm going to have to get it. But we may have to cut the rocker out to get it. I'm not sure, but you can kind of see down in there. It is pretty clean. It ain't too bad. I'm going to, I don't know, I may blow some air in that. Just blow this off, but we're going to cut this part off altogether. I'm going to cut this all the way back flush with this part. And then this outer edge, I'm going to come through here and just cut it flush and then grind all that down. And up here, I'm actually going to take the spot welds out and remove this piece. So when I make this back, I can make a lipped fold down. We have a place to weld it, to spot weld it so it's good and strong. We'll spot weld it down through here, or rosette weld it, whatever you want to call it. And then at the bottom, I'll make a little drain so it can drain water out just in case it gets any in there. It shouldn't, but you never know. And then we'll come out and break it and come out and make a flat piece so when we put the outer panel on it, it's got something to lay against and weld as well. So we should be in good shape. But I'm just going to get to doing that right quick, put this on time lapse because that's going to take a while. So Corey came over. By the way, this is Corey's, his place. Corey. And we're talking about dumping this exhaust down through here. And we're going to have to cut this guy like here, come down, lose the lower half of this altogether. And even this, so we can have enough room just to get because we got to get exhaust down and turn it out to go out that fender. And it's going to be tight. So the outside of the body is, here. We have to there. We have a 3.5-inch exhaust. So, yeah, let's cut some more. Okay, folks, I got that nut out of there finally. Now it's all good and clean. Not that you can see in there. We're going to cut a big hole in this, but, yeah, finally got that out of there. All right, I thought I'd mark a line after speaking with Corey, kind of show y'all what we're talking about. Right along through here at the top. We'll cut all that. You can see that line I drew. I hope you can see it. And then right down through here, and then right down through there. And I marked it on the inside. I'll cut it from in there. And we'll figure out how we rebuild all that. And I think we may end up cutting part of this out just for access into the fender when that way we can center it up the best we can. And if you're worried about that lower brace, we'll end up losing all of that, and I'll build a new brace that will come off of here, basically break down and then over for the bottom of the fender. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out, and we'll go from there. Well, fellas, I'm back at it again. It's actually Monday, the following week here. Friday, I put in 4 hours. My brain wasn't working. I was having a hard time. So I've already been here a little bit. I'm going to show you what I've been doing. Friday, I got all this cleaned up and cut out, and we like that. So I made a template. So I'm trying to make a brace that will come from here in and up, but I want to do it all out of one piece if at all possible. So I'm gonna cut this and we'll kind of test fit it a time or two until we get it where we like it. We end up with, that's all out of basically one piece. I did have to extend that one spot right there. But yeah, I'm not mad at that. And I honestly, it didn't have to be this far out. I just wanted it to be this far out so I could get some more weld on it. This has to be strong because that's going to be structural. So we're going to make that out of, something a little thicker than 16 gauge. And I made a little lip for the inside so it rolls over the floor. So we can get that good and tight too. I went ahead and untaped it, and you can see this extension I put in actually is the metal needs to go to this and not this. So I'm going to mark that line, cut that section out of this, and if we need it at the end, we'll put it back, but I think we'll still be okay. I was just adding that for some extra weld area, so it should be fine. But I'm going to cut that out, and we'll see if we can't transfer this to some 1/8 inch and get it bent up in the brake. Y'all saw me trim all this up. Hopefully we can get it all bent. I put some dash lines on it. I don't know if you'll be able to see those or not. Just kind of give me an idea of where to break it. It's going to be kind of weird because I'm going to have to break this and that both, and we'll see if I can do it all. I should be able to. And then we got this little guy which goes over to here, which I don't know if this brake has. This isn't a tooth brake, so I can't like take a tooth out to skip it. So we'll see if I can do it on this brake, or if I have to do it by hand, I may have to. I'm actually in the overflow shop right now. It's just some storage of other cars that have been worked on, whatever. They got pushed back for parts reasons or whatever. But anyways, they're in this other shop. Also where the brake is. Can I show you what's down here right quick from just from this standpoint? A 69 Firebird convertible. That thing was really, really rusty. It's had a lot of stuff put in it. It'll get more love in the future. It's a 77 Oldsmobile Cutlass. They say it's a Hurst Olds. I don't know that it really was, but nonetheless, it's down here. And then over there, if you'll see the top of it, that's another 70 Chevelle. Everywhere I go, there's Chevelles. So let's see if we can get this folded up and make it look like it's supposed to. Well, we've got some problems with this particular brake. If you had one where you could take the teeth out so you could do this, it'd be much easier. But if we slide it in this way to bend that, we'd have to bend it here, and we may do that and then bend it back. But if we bend it here, we'd have to bend it all the way across. I don't want to do that because I don't want to bend this particular spot at all. If I can help it, and even this guy, flip it around, you could bend it, but you'd be bending that too. You can go down to the ends, but there's not enough overlap at the ends to do that. So I think I'm just going to take it up, get the big hammer, and put it in a vise, and we'll just we'll fold them over that way. It'll be fine. I was just trying to save myself some time. All I've done is made myself more work by having to come down to the other shop. So let's go up there and beat these things over and fold this thing down. Well, it was looking pretty good when I realized all that's bent backwards. I can't believe y'all let me fold that all together and it's backwards. So I'm gonna beat it the other direction for a while, I guess. Wasn't what I was going for, but see if we can fix it. Well, as y'all saw, I hope you saw, Corey came by and said, I'm not so sure they can see you. He moved the stand for me. But if you couldn't see me, I broke it all the wrong way, of course, and then I went back and broke it the other way. I also used a piece of angle iron inside the jaws when I clamped it down so I could get a good break on it. We're just using what we got here. If you had a fingered brake, that would have worked better, but let's take a look at it and we'll go from there. So she fits really, really pretty good. And I'd left a little extra here, I knew that, but it fits, you can see,
pretty good and tight. I might be able to get that a little better, but not much. Everything fits good. The inside, harder to see, it's dark in there, but all that fit good. Got it clamped. That's going to be fine. We'll have to clamp that, weld it, clamp it, weld it all the way down to get it to be. It's got just a little bit of curve at the front, but it's not enough to curve the piece, if that makes sense. It's going to be super, super strong. And that's really all we needed. We just needed it to be strong. So what I'm going to do next is pull all this apart. I'm going to hit it all with a grinder, get it ready to weld, and then we're going to put it back together. I got her all fixed back in here. Got all that ground down. I took my measurement from the bottom side of where the body mount goes to this lip. It was 22 1/4 before. I can't hold all this and the camera at the same time, but we're back to 22 1/4, so it's where it's supposed to be. So yeah, I think I can burn some wire and make this permanent. I got her all welded in. Inside, not the prettiest welds you've ever seen, but they'll grind, it'll be fine. It's super strong. I'd touch it, but yeah, I just welded it. She's hot. So I'm gonna grind those welds down and we'll be done with this part and we'll move on to the next. Well, there she is, all cleaned up. I'm happy with it. It's very strong. I mean, it's like very strong. So now we gotta cap this. We got a big hole in here. And then once that is capped to where the water can get down, when we build this outer panel down, we'll have to do a small relief at the bottom. So if water does get in there, it can still get out. Otherwise, it just rust out if it ever got in there because it couldn't get out. So I guess, yeah, the next thing, we'll just fill this in. That turned out pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. I'm no professional welder, but I promise she'll hold. I'm gonna hit it with a grinder. We'll also have to grind this edge down, but that'll probably be tomorrow's project. And then we'll cap this thing. I'm gonna clean up this mess tonight, though. It is awful.
Good morning. We're back at it. I got us all cleaned up yesterday. I'm gonna show you the next piece, and this is the piece that'll actually well, technically you can't see it, but if the front end was off, you could see it. But let's look at this next. I've got this all in here cleaned up, and the way I lap that in there is kind of like you do shingles on a house. So if the water gets in, it can't get trapped, keeps going. And then we're gonna cover all of that basically with one sheet of sheet metal.
And I'll probably do a break at the back so I can just rosette weld it all the way down. I could butt weld it. I may do that. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. But here at the top, you can see it kind of steps down right there. So I think I may do a couple of different things to make this work. We may butt weld the top up here, but then cut that and fold it in, and then actually rosette weld through this top of this panel into that, which would work. And then I'm going to break a nice clean edge on the front, and that'll be where the front of the firewall is. I still have to grind this off. I didn't do that yesterday, but I got to grind that off, get it straight, and then we'll be good to go. So I think first thing I'm going to do is grind this right quick, and then we'll make this template. Yeah, buddy. So I went ahead and cut that edge down, straight shaved that, so we're good there. And then I have trimmed the top of this. You could see the weld from where it penetrated through before, so I just went above it, trimmed it, and then I welded that upper seam and that lower seam. So that's super, super strong now. I'm going to get on to making this template. We'll get that made and see if we can't make us a cap for the end of this thing. Then I think I started dressing this. I'm going to do a little welding up here and down through here where it was cut through. Nothing crazy. We'll get those fixed, and then I may finish out that rod to the end, and we'll see about getting a piece of firewall finally cut for this thing. I went ahead and got us a template fabbed up here. I'm going to do a break at the top. I've got a break all the way under that. We'll do a rosette weld here, probably 2 in here, and 1 at the top, 1 there. And then this front will be flat, and that's actually what this panel will come over and cap it. And then we'll do some rosette welds down through here. I drew a very fancy drain. We're just going to do a couple of bead rolls, which will pucker this area. That way if any water does get in here, we can get it out. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Looks pretty good. But before we finish this, I've actually got to prep the inside of this and get it sprayed. We've got some E-coat in a can. It works great for stuff like this. Let me get all this over open and show you. I'm just going to go in here real quick with some 150 or whatever I've got, just to scuff all this up, make sure we don't have anything loose in there. And I'll just E-coat all that, and we'll be good to go. And this panel, I'll E-coat it before we weld it in. This is that E-coat I'm going to use. It's really good stuff. You can actually weld through this, and we will be welding through this. Well, y'all saw me rough this out and then trim it out and mark her all up. We're down here in the other shop. We're going to do a couple of breaks We can break both the ends on this, and then that'll make it more rigid for when we put the bead rolls in it, so it doesn't do anything weird. And sometimes the bead roll can distort things a little. We want it to distort it some, but we want to be able to control it. So let's get these bends in this thing, and we'll go back up and get the bead rolls done. You line up where you want it, and we'll lock her down. See how she locks. A little more. Lock. And there we have it. It's our back brake and our front brake. These small ones, we'll do those in the vise, but we'll probably do those after we do the bead rolls. Yeah, it's gonna be a nice panel. Got her all clamped up here. She's gonna fit real nice. I got my holes drilled or marked that I'm gonna drill. We'll get them done right quick. And I'm gonna rosette weld and seam weld that. Same up here, I'm gonna rosette those, but I'll do a seam weld right across there. And then at the bottom, we're just gonna seam weld from this side over to here and here to here, and leave that center open, of course, so it can drain. We will have to cut right here and relief it and fold that back and weld it, but that'll be fine. I just left it for now. Got E-coat on all this. About time for a new glove, huh? Got this part that'll go in there, and I'd gotten the inside of that when I did the other parts, so I'll see if I can get her clamped in, and we'll do a little welding and wrap this part up. Got her in here all clamped up. I'm gonna start at the top, and we'll just keep these clamps. I may have to move them a time or two, but get all those spot welds in, and I'll just go ahead and we'll seam weld all of that. And then we'll come here, we'll spot weld these and push that in. See, it's out just a little bit because that isn't completely flat. And we'll do that, and then we'll weld it. We're going to weld at the bottom, of course. And that's pretty much it. Like I was saying before, so let's just get to it. Yeah, I'm okay with this all together. It fit really good. I'm still gonna, I got a hole right here I'm gonna fill in. Whoa, that was hot. Man, what an idiot. But anyways, we got all that welded in. I got it welded top, bottom, so yeah, I'm gonna take lunch. And when I get back, I'll grind all this down. We'll make it beautiful. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, I'm very happy with how all this turned out. I did skip ahead and do a little bit more work. Filled that hole that was there. I welded the rod that was up here. Then I welded all the little holes that we had in. So that's now sealed off up to here. Now I still have to weld the top of this. The bottom I've got welded. But the next thing we're going to do is actually cut that off and finish this out to the end and get all that welded and just done. And then we'll be, you know, actually able to put a firewall on this thing. A lot of work goes into it before you get to that point, that's for sure. Whew, that boy's hot. See if we set that up there if we like it. I think we can make that work. Really, we probably cut it a little further back than it had to be, but that'll be all right. See if we can mark it. I'll cut this off. There it is, boys. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's got a little low spot, but we're covering all this, so it's fine as long as it's sealed. And we're all sealed up, looking good. Now we don't have that weird lip hanging out. It's just like right down through there. Pretty happy with it. Y'all ready to hit it again? I've actually already been here and working. Got me some new gloves out, since my other ones had so many holes in them. I've actually already made us a template today for this firewall. I'll show you what I got here. So I just took our old piece that we cut out because we know this fits perfectly. Then I just made me a little, tape that to the top, make myself a little addition to it. And then I just laid it out, drew it out, and we're going to cut it out. Hopefully it fits pretty good and we can just trim it up as we go. This will work out good. So let's get it. so she's gonna fit real nice. I did a little bit of trimming already, just right down through there, and that's good. And I stopped about right here. We'll end up, what I'm gonna do is drill us a few holes here for plug welds. I'm gonna trim just that edge off a little bit, and that'll leave us a little edge to weld to right here. Same thing across the top. I'm actually gonna mark this, and we're gonna take just a little bit off. I'm sorry. See, it's real close. If I take a little off that, we can run a weld and then dress that weld, and it'll be really nice. Everything fits pretty good right here. So if you're ever flattening out a firewall, don't force it. The metal's already flat, so just put it up there, get it to fit in as many places as you can. See, we have a little gap right here, and if we force that in, it'll warp this panel. So what we're going to do is weld everything around it, and then we'll fill that gap, and then we'll come back with enough weld to dress it out to where it looks good. But it fits pretty darn nice. I ain't mad at it. And down here where that flange is, I'm putting the flange on the inside so we can rosette weld it from the inside. And then when it's all said and done, we'll address that piece of floor pan and get it welded from the inside, and then trim it on the outside to match. Same with this piece here. It's actually too long. I got her back up there. I know you got a glare, but yeah, it fits pretty good. I'm happy with everything. There again, I do have to cut that one spot, but I want to tack this in as we go, and then we'll cut that and pull it flat and be fine. All this down here fits nice. I did drill us all those holes, but I drilled one more over just so we could pull that in just a smidge and hit it. And I think we'll be in good shape. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with how it fits. So let's get her welded in. Well, I got her all welded in. I welded it from the back where I needed to. It's all the toe board is all welded in too. Yeah, she's turned out good. She's good and flat. It rolls just the tiniest bit right down there at the bottom, which I knew it would because it has to roll back into the body. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Also welded it on the inside. You can see where that piece was, and the holes ended up being at the bottom, so I just welded them up and then pulled our toe board out and welded it from inside and out. So she's good and strong, that's for sure. They don't have any weird flex or anything. Feel straight. A little bit of mud and that thing will be good for paint. Whew. I ground all this down. This took forever. I didn't record a single second of it because y'all see me grind plenty in this video. I had to go back and re-weld that outer edge just to get the profile like I like. But let's take a look. Yeah, very happy with how this all turned out. That'll give us all the room we need, hopefully, to run the exhaust in and down. Definitely down. There's plenty of room. We may have an issue coming in, and if we do, we'll take a section out wherever we got to. But we're going to leave it just like that for now. I got one more thing I want to do in this video. We're going to call this done for this one. This warped some when he put it in. It's pretty thin. And I'm going to come in here and recut it here and here because it's low in those two places. And see if we can get it to where it's up, where it's supposed to be, and weld it back together. And this should be in pretty good shape. You can see how that's low right there and right there. So let's get after it. Watch this. When I pull it up, it warped that material. Now we have too much. I could shrink it, but this is just as quick and just as easy. Oh yeah. Pretty close. I got her all cleaned up and she's all dialed in. I'm gonna let you take a good look at it. So this side's pretty well wrapped up. Next video, we'll move to that side. It has even more problems and more stuff to be custom made. So I'm actually really excited to do it. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm very happy with how this has turned out. We get the other side knocked out and we'll just keep building stuff. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.